Mr. Danny said no donuts tomorrow because they're having a yard sale. Y'all show spread out. Man, I know how Brother Michael feels now, having to comb the crowd. It's good to be with y'all tonight. Brother Michael, while we was on vacation, texted me and asked me if I would fill in tonight. That he said that he kind of wanted y'all to get an update of what we're doing and where we're at. Planned on a video, but the little projector won't hook to the computer that we have now, so you're not going to get a video tonight. So you'll have to just put up with me talking. It's been a little different week for us around the house. We waited till we kind of told all the kids. We found out my mother has cancer, and so we go Tuesday to a cancer doctor and find out options and stuff. So y'all be praying for her, praying for the family. My youngins, as close as we live, they took it pretty hard. So y'all just be praying for them. But God's in control. He's got his hand there, and we're not going to worry about it. We know he's a great physician, and he'll take care of everything. I'll give you a little update on Hammers of Hope. I'll start out with thank y'all. Thank y'all for supporting us, mainly in prayers, because it takes lots of prayers to do what we do. Just a bunch of folks, ladies and men, get together and get out and do stuff that they're not used to, and it come together. At the end of the day, it's amazing what a group of folks can do through God. And you're not supposed to be able to tear off 25 squares of shingles and put them back on in one day with a bunch of folks that don't know what they're doing. And it works out. We've learned we're in our 7th year now, so they've kind of figured out how to tear off shingles and put on shingles. So I've been proud of them. I guess out of everybody that helps, I'm probably the only one that does construction work every day. So that's a big thing too, because you get people that works in factories or works in banks, and or you work just different other places, retired people that comes in and help. So it's been amazing just to watch God work through the people that he puts there every day. Some that don't know, I'll give you a little background of where we started. Back in 2005, a little company started when Katrina hit called 8 Days of Hope. And Lord put on my heart to go. And I wound up going to 12 of the 8 Days of Hope over the years. And God kept dealing with me and dealing with me and dealing with me, and I didn't know what it was. I actually thought God was wanting me to start preaching. I prayed about it. I talked to preachers. I talked to deacons. I talked to people that I know, and I went and talked to Brother Marcus one time, and he said, Jeff, I can't answer that question. And he was honest with me. He couldn't. And that's right. He couldn't answer that question. So I kept praying, and I didn't know exactly what God was wanting me to do, but I know God was wanting me to do something. And I kept running. And I said, God, I have no idea, but I said, I just don't want to do it. So some of y'all know, but some of you may not. I went 5 straight years with 2 hours of sleep. And he let me get up and go to work every morning. Kept putting food on the table, kept paying bills, and kept letting me go to 8 Days of Hope. I could go to 8 Days of Hope and come home and brush that off my back. I didn't have to worry about it no more. I didn't have to worry about keeping up with everything that's going on now. And I was fine with that, but he just kept tearing and kept tearing. He said, there's people that's close to y'all needs help. And I said, well, I can't do it. And I said, I'm not going to do it. And he just kept on and kept on and kept on. And I finally, I guess when Brother Bert Harper was here, he preached a sermon. And, of course, y'all know when we was over in the church, we sat fifth row, that side over here. And Kim and I was having a conversation right there in church. And I was pretty loud. And I kept saying, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this. And his message was get out of the boat. So, and I told Kim, I said, I just don't want to listen to this today. And Brother Bert told me after it was over with that he was supposed to call me out by name in the pulpit, and he didn't do it, and he would have to pay for that. And he said, I have no idea what God wants you to do, Jeff, but he said, you need to wake up, listen to God, and pay attention to him. I said, okay. I said, I'll start praying a little different then. He said, okay. He said, you need to. But my problem was I was going to 8 days of hope for me. I was going to help, yeah, but I was wanting to show everybody what I knew. God gave me a talent, and I was using it for the wrong. I was using it for me. I wasn't using it for him. But I was getting his work done. So I got to praying, and I got some guys that I had met, and I said, God's dealing with me to do something, and I said, I can't do it by myself. I said, so what do y'all think about this? And they said, well, God's dealing with us too on something like that, but he said, not the way he's dealing with you. He said, it was Johnny Pettit. He said, we have to have a leader. I said, man, I'm like Noah. I said, I don't want to lead nothing. I said, I'm like Moses. I don't want to lead anything. He said, well, you need some help. And he said, that's what we're here for. So I got to praying that God would give me the people that would come in and help me. And then I figured out that it wasn't about me. It's about God. And it was about a team. And he was putting a team together to do what we're doing now. And I finally quit saying me. It's us. And when I say us, it's every church. It's every person that prays for us. It's every individual that goes around and helps us. It's for those homeowners that we go and help. And so like I said, we're in our 7th year. I've been amazed at what God has done. Lots and lots of wheelchair ramps, lots and lots of roofs, bathroom tear-outs, put back in. 2 churches. We was blessed to get to go to Dundee, and a lot of folks from church came down and helped. And then we did one 2.5, 3 years ago. Is that right, Danny? Memorial. And Gunnison, Mississippi, and that's down in the Delta. It's south of Clarksdale. We went down there and helped those folks frame a church in 4 days. And I've been amazed just to watch God work through different people that comes into our lives. We have, I call it my core group. I know the ones that's pretty well going to show up all the time. Then we have a few that comes in and they want to see what's going on, and they want to see how God's working through a bunch of folks that's just loves God. You know, that's our main goal. Sure, we're supposed to go and put a wheelchair ramp up, put a roof on, but our main goal and what God's sending us out to do is see where that homeowner stands, witness to those homeowners. And sometimes works is how you get into some people's lives. Some people's not going to listen to you if you want to just come out and witness to them. So this is kind of where we're at. Our works, going in, building a wheelchair ramp or doing something like that, we can witness to these people where a preacher might not can, because they're going to go up and witness to them, and they might not want to hear it. They'll turn around and walk off. And when we go, Kim and I, most of the time, we go and assess all the projects. And we tell them, if you don't want to hear Jesus, you probably don't want us on your property. And a lot of them says, okay, we're good with that, you know, the more the better, because he's the one that's in control. I said, yes, that's right. But when we first started, I was thinking maybe we would do 2, 3 a year. We set up 60-mile radius from the center of Pontotoc, which we counted about Wendy's, True Value up there. And I said, we'll do 2 or 3 a year, and we'll be good, and we don't have to worry about it, you know. And I talked with some of them, and I said, well, it's growing. We got like 5 or 6 or 7 on the list. Well, for the last 3 years, we've had 60 on the list, and they'll come off, and then they go back up, come off and go back up. And right now, I hadn't counted them back up, but we got about 60 people waiting on us. And it's kind of hard when those homeowners call you and tell you what all's going on. And I have to say, it's going to be 3 years before we can get to you. And sometimes they don't understand, but I said, we kind of started it as each person that calls, that's when we put them on the list. You know, we don't put one ahead of another one. And because everybody that calls us, they're in need, or they wouldn't call us. Sometimes we're their last resort. You know, they've tried to get help from different other folks, and when COVID hit, a lot of the places that does stuff to help, they couldn't do fundraisers, and so they basically quit doing wheelchair ramps and assessing with people and everything. But God blessed us. We don't deal with fundraisers. We let God take care of the money, and we don't worry about it. It's kind of hard when some of I've had 4 or 5 folks call us and want to help us set up fundraisers. And I said, we don't do fundraisers. And they said, well, we don't understand. Everybody that we contact does fundraisers. I said, well, we are a faith-based organization, and when I say faith-based, I said we depend on God for our money. And they said, that's crazy. They said, folks don't do that. I said, well, and the last lady I talked to her about 3 times, and I said, where are you from? She said, I'm from Kentucky. And she said, I know exactly what you're talking about, but she said, I want to know more. So she's called me 2 more times and asked me how it works. And she said, I'm a Christian. And she said, I believe in faith. And she said, I've never heard an organization keep going like y'all going, just depending on people donating. And I said, well, my dad was a preacher, and I've been in church all my life, and I said, I know you're not supposed to bargain with God, but I said, I did. And when we started this, and I said, he's backed what he said he was going to do. And I said, I've tried to do it. And I told him, God, if you'll take care of the finances and take care of the weather, we're going to do what we can. And we've postponed 2 projects. Is that right, Dan? Something like that. Two projects for a couple of weeks because of rain, and never had a project that wasn't paid for before we started. So that's amazing that you can do something like that with 60 names on the list. Now, we have had some that I've went to that's too far gone. I guess me going to assess them, I get the bad guy. I have to call them back and say, you know, we can't help. But when you go in a foyer, in the old houses, you walked in the front door, and you got a room off a room off a room off a room. You don't have a hall in the older houses, you know, and you just kind of keep going from room to room. But when I got in one particular house, I went in, and it's in Pontotoc County, and you went into the first room, and they had 2 beds in the foyer area. It was a pretty good sized foyer area, and then there was a little small living room over to the side, and it was starting to get bad. But when I walked to the second door, that was the kitchen, and the appliances was on the ground. All the floor joists, floors, everything was gone, and I kind of walked around the edge and went to the next room, and it was on the ground, and the ceilings was falling out of it, and I crawled under it, and it was just slap full of termites too. So something like that, it's kind of a little bit too far, and all we could tell them is we just going to start praying for you, you know. And later, found out about a year later, she's got a mobile home now. So she was blessed and got to get a mobile home on a fixed income, but you know, she was blessed to be able to get a mobile home, and she understood. She was a Christian, and she knew exactly what we was talking about. She said it's probably too far gone when she called me. I've been in places that I've had to get back in the truck after I got through measuring, and then I lost it. You kind of got to hold your feelings back, and from what you see, it just what they live in. I didn't think it would be around here. You know, I went to Katrina and all these other places, you know, and I've seen stuff blowed away and stuff like that, but these people living in stuff like that because they have to, you know, on fixed incomes, or one family member is the only one working because they're having to take care of a child that's disabled or something like that. You know, you get into situations like that. But he's blessed us. He's blessed our homeowners. We are a 501c3, if anybody didn't know, set up kind of like a church. We are LLC'd. What I told you about money is about all I tell you about money, because I don't worry about money. But I will tell you one, and I love telling this when I get to go, and this is the only thing I'm going to tell you about money. As far as that, we were putting up wheelchair ramps, going and coming. So I got with a board, and I said, hey, let's buy us one of these augers. I said, we digging all these post holes, you know, by hand. And I said, let's see about buying us an auger. And they said, yeah. They said, we got enough money in the bank, we'll be okay. And because we spend all of our money on our projects. We don't take it for us. And so we got to shopping around, Kim and I, and we went to TSC one night and picked it up. It was a Saturday night. Nobody but us, me and Kim, and the board members knew I was going to go get one. So got there and we looked, and this is pretty close to the amount. I'm not going to be exact on it. It was $363.28, roughly. And so that was Saturday. We come church Sunday and went to work Monday. Got home. Kim always gets the mail. I don't fool with the mail. Kim gets the mail. And she got the mail, and she actually opened this envelope up. And it was from somebody up north. Didn't know them. Never heard from them again. But she opened it up, and the first thing she seen was the memo. And she didn't even look at how much it was. She said, you have got to see this. And she just covered the whole thing up and showed it to me. And in the memo it said, I have no idea what this is for, but I knew it was needed. And she uncovered it, and it was $363.28. I got on the phone. I was calling all the board members. I called Danny and Johnny and Randy, and I said, y'all ain't going to believe this. He said, I don't remember which one it was. They said, that check had to have been wrote before you went and picked that up. I said, it was. It had to be, because it come from up north somewhere. So God's in control. Some people don't think he is, but when that happens, you got to tell somebody. And that's been, that's been the case a lot of times, and we don't worry about it. This year, I will say a little bit more about money. This year, we've had some big companies come on board with us, and we've been blessed for different companies to give what they give. And I've been amazed, and God's put it on their heart, and that's the reason why we've got it, you know, and everything. That's the way we all look at it. But it's a learning experience every time we go out. You never know what you're going to get into when you tear something out, because sometimes I can't see everything that I go look at and everything. I give you a little insight. We just did a DHS this past weekend, and a lot of y'all that's on Facebook I've tried to put the pictures out and everything. We tore out 2 rooms. They were added onto a single wide trailer before this girl bought it, and they didn't do it correctly. So it started leaking about a year after she bought it, and I won't go into the specifics, but DHS got involved, so they called us, and we went and looked at it and see what we could do about it and everything. So we wound up basically tearing 2 rooms out. Just tore them all to pieces, and Johnny and I went and looked at it and tried to figure out a roof system and everything, because it was just pouring in. And so we tore all the bad out. One room was a step down, so we built that floor up. We wound up insulating and sheetrocking both of those after we put a whole new roof system from one end to the other on this single wide trailer. Looks like a house now, but we put all of our weight. A lot of people said, oh, you can't do that because it's a trailer house. Well, I designed a piece that went all the way across the walls that's on the rooms, so it's carrying all the weight, so there's no weight on this trailer. So it'll be okay. Looks good. I was amazed at how much we got done because of the heat. It was hot. It was really hot Thursday and Saturday. Friday we got a little shower. That was kind of nice. Kept going, worked right straight through it. But we got it worse. I had a team come up while I was there on a Friday and talk to me, and I think they're going into mud to sheetrock, and she got her paint picked out and everything. So that's a blessing. The little girl wound up took out of the house. The daddy had nothing to do with the kid since it was born from day one, and when DHS got involved, he got word about it, so he carried her to court, and so he's got her for 6 weeks. She gets her every other weekend, so that's a blessing, but she's never been away from her mom, and she's 12. So y'all be praying for her and the family, and that everything will work out for the good. And I'm going to take some questions if anybody got any questions. And if I can't answer it, Danny can. Or Dusty. Y'all can shoot them to me. I can pretty well answer them. I'll try. Okay. Blesses us. I've heard people say, and after we got involved in this, I had a little different outlook on life as far as what $10 will do. And somebody had asked me, they said, well, we can't give but $10. I said, used to, I might have said, well, that ain't nothing. But $10 will pretty well still do it, and I know I used $5 when lumber was down, but I'm going to use $10 now. And I look at stuff a little different. $10 will buy a 5/4 board 12 foot long. And somebody will say, well, what's a 5/4 board 12 foot long any good for? You can cut it twice, because Danny McGee cuts most of them for us on that. That's 15, 16 and a quarter inches. A back tire of a wheelchair will fit on that. So that's kind of how I look what $10 will do. And it's a little different than some people look at stuff, but that's, God opened my eyes, and that, you know, $10 will do something like that. Yeah, it'll buy a roll of tape for mud, you know, sheetrock mud. It'll buy some nails, go on a roof, you know. It'll buy a vent for a top of a roof, you know, stuff like that. I look at stuff a little different, you know, than I used to. Took a lot of praying, a lot of friends standing by me saying, hey, this is a little different now. You know, you need to quit looking at yourself. Look at what God's doing. Anything else? Anybody else? We do one a month. I don't need to burn volunteers out. And you get some good volunteers, you don't want to burn them out where they won't come back next month. So we just do one a month, and that I think it works pretty good. I wish we could do more. I've been praying for about 2 years now, and it's kind of easy when I turn the faith part of the money over to God on Hammers of Hope, but I'm praying to turn my faith part on my finances, and I want to quit work and do it full time. And that way we might do some smaller stuff, and I got some guys that's retired that can go help me. And, you know, so I'm praying about that. So y'all put that on your prayer list too. Kim's nervous about that situation. And, you know, I am too, because I was brought up that the man of the house is supposed to be the breadwinner of the house, and, you know, that'd be a change, you know, but I think one day he got to open that door, and I just have to walk through it when it's that time. Dusty.
I'm going to start by saying that I was almost disobedient to God by not speaking out. And that happens a lot when you're in a group of people that should have spoke up, and you were told spoke up, but then you didn't. But anyhow, when I came out here, I already knew
It's fun. I enjoy it. It's, I've had crews over the years, and it's a little different, you know. You can hire and fire, you know, and everything, and this crew that's with me now, they just a big old blessing. That's all I can say. They're just a big blessing. It's a part in my life that's fulfilled, you know, and everything. We do give out we kind of know, when Kim and I are there, we kind of know if they're Christians when we leave by talking with them. Kim will most of the time go in and speak with them, and I'll speak with them, and then I'll go do measuring or whatever, and then she's getting to know the homeowner and everything, and she's been a big blessing in that. A lot of them what we do are single ladies, older ladies. I don't go by myself. I carry Kim goes with me, and McKenna goes with us, and that's kind of how we do it. We do give them a devotional that I wound up and got my first devotionals when I went with the seniors to Pigeon Forge when President Bush was up there. Yeah, when we went up there, I bought about 24, and then I tried to get some more, and they're not reprinting them. So I got Brother Michael on it, and he found me another one that 9 pastors wrote. So I ordered me 24 of those. So we give them out to the homeowners. A lot of times we give them a Bible. If they have kids in the house, just like these, there was 5 little kids, and Kim got online coming back from vacation, and she found a Bible study kid age appropriate for each one of them. So we try to do that. We want to make sure that after we leave that God's still there working, you know, and this will give them something to read and study and get closer to Him. Any more questions? Y'all didn't even ask me no hard questions. You wouldn't believe some of them I get, some churches I go to, some of the questions they come up with. But, of course, y'all know me and kind of know what's going on. Those that don't know, we do have a Facebook page, Hammers of Hope MS. We got a website. You go to, if you can't find something, just go to Google. And if you ever need my telephone number and you don't have a church directory or a bulletin, that's what I'm trying to think of. Bulletin, you just Google Hammers of Hope. And they stuck my phone number right there. We was at I'm going to say one more thing and then I'm going to close. We was at a band competition about 3 years ago in Tupelo. My phone rings. I look at it. I said, I bet that's somebody wanting Hammers of Hope. And the guy said, hey, Jeff. I said, yeah. He said, I'm the guy that borrowed the generator. I said, okay. How did you get my number? He said, well, I seen you had a Hammers of Hope sticker into your back window. So he said, I looked up Hammers of Hope, and then I said, hey, there's a telephone number. I'm going to call it and see. And he said, I'm glad to meet you. He was from South Tiller School. So, and that's how he found me, was there. But yeah, if I'd have known we were going to get this spread out and large, and we're not large, but you know, far as people calling and everything, I probably would have got me another phone, but and used it for that. But I'd have had to carry 2 around. But a lot of people emails us, messages on Facebook, or they'll call me and everything. So. And then some of them call some of the other ones, and then they shoot them to me. But that's kind of how we work. And the only thing, a lot of them, this is our only main stipulation. You have to own your home or paying for your home. No rentals. And a lot of places that does stuff like this, they can't say that. We give them the opportunity. If they want to pay some on materials, they can. If they don't, you know, they don't have to. 99.9% of them that gets in contact with us, they don't have the money. So through churches, individuals, and that God's laid on each and every person and each and every church's heart, that's what takes care of each and every project each and every month. And thank y'all for that. Thank y'all for everything you do. Thank you for praying for us each and every time we go out. And I can't say it enough. Just thank you. I'm going to close. Anybody got anything else they want to ask? All right. I'm going to close, and then I'm going to turn it over to Danny. Danny's going to do our prayer list and everything, and then we'll be dismissed after that. Thank you, dear gracious Heavenly Father, for the day that you've given us, God. Lord, just thank you for my salvation, God. Lord, just thank you for the call that you've called me to do, God, that I answered that. Lord, just thank you for the guys and the ladies that you've put beside me to help, Lord, and to be brothers and sisters, Lord, and not just people that I keep in contact with, Lord. Just thank you for them. Lord, I thank you for my church. I thank you for each and every person here, Lord. I thank you for all their prayers. Lord, I thank you for all their support, everything that they do for us, God. Just keep us on that straight and narrow, Lord, just always looking to you and not looking at ourselves that we did that, but it's all about you, God, and I thank you for that, Lord. Just be with us as we go through the rest of the day, Lord. Just keep us safe, carry us back home, Lord. In your name we pray. Amen.